Good morning, saints. Good morning. Good morning, saints. Good morning. Do you all have some giants that are going to come down? They're going to come down today. They're going to come down today. We're going to do a little inductive reasoning here. We're going to talk about David and Goliath. So all of you have heard the story of David and Goliath, probably. Raise your hand if you've heard the story of David and Goliath. I'd like to know who's heard it. And the young people, if you haven't heard it, I hope that you will embrace it today. Because it's a story that we hear over and over and over again as Christians. Now here's the thing about oral tradition. You can hear a story over and over and over again. So when you're little, it might simply be, hey, David was the guy that used a slingshot to bring Goliath down. But as you grow older, there's new layers added onto it. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply read the story and add into it a little bit here and there and have you start thinking about what maybe the story means on multiple layers. And then at the end, I want you to walk out of here or continue on in service thinking about what some of those other layers are. So we are prepared to fight giants, okay? So now the Philistines gathered their armies together to battle, and were gathered at Succoth, which belongs to Judah. They encamped between Succoth and Azekah in Ephraim's valley. And Saul and the men of Israel were gathered together, and they encamped in the valley of Elah and drew up the battle array against the Philistines. The Philistines stood on a mountain on one side, and Israel stood on the mountain on the other side with a valley between them. You see, nobody wanted to go down in that valley. Nobody wanted to go in that valley because whoever went down in the valley first had a disadvantage. Okay? Because that valley is like the valley of death. So once you're down in there, you can't get back out. And a champion went out from the camp of the Philistines named Goliath from Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. That means he was close to 10 feet tall, young people. He was almost 10 feet tall. He had a bronze helmet on his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail. And the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of bronze. That's about 125 pounds, more than what some of you weigh. Okay? And he had a bronze armor on his legs and a bronze javelin between his shoulders. Now the staff of his spear was like a weaver's beam, and his iron spearhead weighed 600 shekels, and a shield bearer went before him. Then he stood and he cried out to the armies of Israel and said to them, "Why have you come out to line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine, and you are the servants of Saul? Choose a man for yourselves, and let him come down to me. If he is able to fight with me and kill me, then he will be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then you shall be our servants and serve us." Saul's a bully. He's talking a lot of stuff. How many of you ever experienced a bully that maybe even comes out with a whole bunch of people, and they just start talking stuff? And if you don't confront them, they're just going to keep talking stuff. And so Saul's going to keep talking. He's going to keep talking for 40 days and 40 nights. He's just going to keep talking. He's just a bully. But not Saul, but Goliath. But I want to go to Saul now. Excuse me for getting that wrong. Excuse me, Lord. Okay, so Goliath is a bully. But Saul is a chicken. Saul is a wimp. Okay? What kind of leader stands up on the hill and doesn't go out to negotiate for his people or risk his life? Saul was tall in stature too. He was like over 6 feet. He was supposed to be strong and good looking. But what kind of man is he inside that he doesn't go out and negotiate for his people? The Philistines said, "I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man and we will fight together." In other words, we can get this all over right now. Just come on out on the playground right now and we can get it right over right now. Okay? Alright? When Saul and all Israel heard these words of the Philistine, they were dismayed and gently afraid. Saul's afraid. Saul's not acting from courage. So how can your people be courageous if your leader isn't courageous? Now David was the son of the Ephraim of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse, who had 8 sons, and the man was old, advanced in years. In the days of Saul, the 3 oldest sons of Jesse had gone to follow Saul to battle. The names of the 3 sons who went to the battle were Eliab, the firstborn. Next they had Abinadab, and third Shammah. David was the youngest, and the 3 oldest followed Saul. The other ones weren't even there. But David occasionally went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem. So David wasn't really allowed to be on the battleground, okay? But his 3 older brothers were. And the Philistines drew near and presented himself 40 days. He went out there every morning, every evening. Said, come on out. Come on and fight. Aren't you going to come out? Come on. Then Jesse said to his son David, take now for your brothers an ephah of this dry grain and these 10 loaves and run to your brothers at the camp. His father was concerned for the older sons. His father was sending food to the battleground to bring the sons. He sent cheese to the captain as a gift to, kind of check on what was happening with the older brothers. And David, of course, got to go. But you know what he did? He left his sheep in the hands of somebody else. That's an important fact. I want you to think about it. He didn't try to take his sheep with him. He took the food and he went to the battleground. So David rose early in the morning, he left the sheep with the keeper, and he took the things, and he went as Jesse had commanded him. And he came to the camp as the army was going out in the fight and shouting for the battle. For Israel and the Philistines had drawn up in battle, army against army. And David left the supplies in the hand of the supply keeper. Well, first he left his sheep over there, now he's leaving the supplies in the hands of the supply keeper. Are you following this? Okay, there's a point that I'm going to get to in a minute. Okay, that's about this. Okay, so he leaves it, and then for Israel, the Philistines had drawn up in the battle. Then as he talked with them, there was a champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, coming out from the armies of the Philistines, and he spoke according to the same words. So David heard them. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, they fled from him, and they were dreadfully afraid. And David's got to go and wonder, what's going on here? So the man of Israel said, have you seen this man who has come up? Surely he has come up to defy Israel, and it shall be that the man who kills him, the king will enrich with great riches, will give him his daughter, will give him his father's house, exempt from taxes in Israel. David's going, here's an opportunity. This is an opportunity. Why are all these people running? Here's an opportunity. Even the king's running. Okay? And the people answered him in this manner, saying, so shall it be done for the man who kills him. Now Eliab, his older brother, and I'll just shorten this a little bit, paraphrase it, sees David there, and it's like, what are you doing here? You left your sheep alone, you snuck over here to watch the battle? You naughty kid, you got to get back home. That's basically what Eliab's saying here. He's saying, why are you here? Why did you come down here? With whom have you left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know your pride and the insolence of your heart, for you have come down to see the battle. But David says, what have I done now? Is there not a cause? He had come with food, remember, for the brothers, and to check on him for his father. Then he turned from him towards another, and he kept talking about this battle stuff, and said the same thing. And these people answered him as the first ones did. Now, when the words that David spoke were heard, they were reported to Saul, and he sent for him. Then David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail. Let no man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine. And Saul said to David, you are not able to go up against this Philistine and fight with him, for you are a youth, and he is a man of war from his youth. David's like 12, 13 years old. He's got a ruddy, fair complexion. He doesn't look like he can do anything. He's just this kid. Are you just kids? No, you're not just kids, are you? Okay, you could do lots. Okay, but David said to Saul, your servant used to keep his father's sheep. And when a lion and a bear came and took a lamb out of the flock, I went after it and struck it and delivered the lamb from its mouth. And when it arose against me, I caught it by the beard, and I struck it and killed it. Your servant has killed both lion and bear, and the uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, seeing he has defied the armies of the living God. He's defied the armies of the living God. So he's no more than that bear. He's no more than that lion to David. David is looking at this through different eyes. Okay, he just sees that God is with him. He serves God, but the Philistine is nothing more than a bear. Just a big bully out on the playground. Okay? That's all he is. All right?